You're seriously reading way too slowly. Research keeps showing that students do put in 100% effort, but because of the wrong strategies, their results end up only half as good. The outcome? Slow speed, unfinished goals, stress, and anxiety. Today, we're going to look at 5 principles that won't just boost your reading speed, but also your learning efficiency. That means understanding more in less time without burning out. These are 5 high-performance protocols I've developed from deep research in neuroscience, psychology, and military discipline. Hats off to those who conquer themselves. Hey there! The first principle is using the velocity learning effect. The fear of perfection stops you from reading fast and focusing. You don't read slow because you're weak. You read slow because your brain is trying to avoid mistakes. A sketch artist first quickly draws rough lines on the canvas. Then, he refines those lines to create the final sketch. If he tries to make perfect lines right from the start, he'll get stuck and slow down. The same thing happens with studying. We get scared that if we read fast, you'll miss things. You'll understand less and won't remember much. That's why we unconsciously slow down. Because of this, our focus is never 100% engaged. And when your focus is half-hearted, 2 things happen at the same time. 1, your speed drops, and 2, distractions increase. Use the 20 plus 10 loop. First, do a 20-minute speed burst. Study at full speed for 20 minutes. Don't worry if you forget stuff or understand less. As soon as you feel like you're not getting it, close your eyes for just 10 seconds and focus only on your breathing. Pause for 10 seconds. Neuroscience shows that intense focus, right after you finish, if you take a short pause, your brain automatically consolidates what you've just learned. The third step is to identify gaps. Ask questions about the material you studied. Revise it. You'll find that you understood and remembered way more than you expected. And mark the points where you got stuck. Finally, fill those gaps. Spend about 10 minutes really focusing on the points you missed. The hyper-correction effect says that learning this way keeps your brain more engaged and can triple your speed. The second principle is to prioritize learning from mistakes. Fixing your mistakes at the right time saves your effort and time. A batsman played the wrong shot against an outswing ball in a match and got out. He went to the locker room and sat alone. He thought for a long time that next time he wouldn't play that shot. He decided to be careful and moved on. But that's exactly where he went wrong. The batsman will play the same shot under pressure next time because just thinking about a mistake doesn't fix it. Mistakes get fixed by immediately repeating the right action. When you make a mistake, your brain sends a mismatch signal, an alarm that triggers other parts of the brain. It says your brain tells you something's wrong and to fix it. This is the time when your brain is most ready to learn new things. But if you say you'll fix it later, the learning gets delayed too. The same happens with students. They make small calculation mistakes in math and then forget, thinking, "Oh, I didn't get it. Won't make the same mistake next time." But they never actually build a new pathway in their brain. Then, when the pressure hits in the exam hall, the old habit takes over. Guys, this used to happen to me too. As soon as I saw a mistake, I'd get frustrated. Break. They make the mistake and then just forget what needed fixing. High performers don't run away from their mistakes. They use mistakes as training signals. That's what I call the fix-on-the-spot protocol. First, stop immediately. As soon as you realize you've made a mistake, pause. Your brain is alert. That's the best time to learn. Find the cause. Figure out the real reason. Was it a reading error, a calculation mistake, or confusion with the concept? Practice the right step 3 times. If the calculation was wrong, do the same kind of calculation 3 times. If the step was wrong, repeat similar questions 3 times. Draw the concept diagram 3 times so your brain stops short-circuiting and starts wiring correctly. The third principle is inversion thinking. Imagining success motivates you, but imagining failure prepares you. Whenever you start something, like going from point A to point B, your brain automatically thinks of the best-case scenario, like taking a straight path and finishing in 3 steps. But reality isn't the best case. There are obstacles along the way. Mistakes happen. And the problem isn't that mistakes happen. The problem is you weren't prepared beforehand. It's the same with studying. You think, if I spend 3 minutes on one question, then in 60 minutes I can do 20 questions. Then you look at the clock. 30 minutes have passed, and you're stuck on the 3rd question. The result? Time's gone, and you get stressed out. Stoic thinkers have a simple idea. A smart person doesn't make a perfect plan. They anticipate failure beforehand. That's why they get less frustrated. Practical tip: 1 minute pre-mortem. Just before starting your work, pause for 1 minute and ask yourself, why might this study session fail? It'll happen, so get it fixed now. I'll get stuck on just one tough question. Make a simple rule for this: 2 questions in a 10-minute timer. If there's no progress in 10 minutes, skip the question. Otherwise, I'll start memorizing information instead of understanding the concept. For every topic, write a clear 2-line summary. If you can't make a summary, it means the concept isn't clear. Our team uses this technique in every project, and it's really helping. Because when you predict failures and make small fixes early on, it saves you hours later. It saves time and stress. The 4th principle is the 20% rule. You only need 20% of the information to understand any concept. How? Imagine you're in an unfamiliar city and need to get from your hotel to the exam center. An average learner tries to memorize every detail: the street names, shops, shortcuts, everything. But a fast learner just focuses on 3 main turns. Turn left here, go straight there, then turn right. That's it. And the cool thing is, once the fast learner walks that route and gets familiar with it, then the rest of the map details, shortcuts, and alternate routes all come naturally. Richard Feynman says people think they've learned a lot just by memorizing definitions, but they get stuck in the information. Similarly, average students first gather a ton of info and then get super confused trying to understand concepts amid all that clutter. You need to break this habit today. Whenever you start a topic, focus first on the 3 or 4 core concepts, like an expert student. Think about what the author or teacher really wants to teach you. First, really get those concepts with as little info as possible. It might take some time, but let it. The Pareto principle says, once you fully get 20% of it, the other 80% just falls into place like puzzle pieces. So, you don't have to cram. The rest of the details and shortcuts just connect easily. Use breaks smartly to boost your brain. Most people think productivity means long hours, but sitting too long actually hurts your performance. One study showed that 3 hours of study, students' brain performance during the session dropped by over 30%, even though they were just taking a short break. It wasn't because they were distracted. The real reason was blood flow. When you sit for hours without much physical effort, the blood flow and oxygen going to your brain drop by 3 to 5%. Less oxygen means less BDNF, and less BDNF means fewer new neurons. This directly causes your brain's ability to learn new things to drop by 20 to 30%. Just like an athlete doesn't run a race without warming up, your brain also needs activation to perform well. You can't do deep learning. Use high-intensity cardio. Dr. Huberman says light walking won't cut it. After studying for 40 to 50 minutes, do just 2 minutes of something high intensity. You can do jumping jacks, or pretend you're crushing ice. If nothing else, run up 3 flights of stairs. If that's not possible, just walk fast. Fast enough that you're completely out of breath in those 2 minutes. This sudden effort boosts blood flow to your brain and refreshes your mind. Another key point: learning isn't about consuming information. If it's not interesting, your brain just won't engage. Most people consume studying passively, just like videos or social media. You might think studying or working should be interesting on its own, but the truth is, you have to make it interesting yourself. Barry Zimmerman says, look at a news anchor. Temperature and wind are boring data. Yet, They try to make that information interesting with their body language, hand movements, and expressions. You need to do the same with studying. When something doesn't seem interesting, instead of quietly reading it, switch to active mode and take 2 steps to make it interesting. Own it. First, boost your engagement. Read out loud with big gestures like a weather reporter, waving your hands and showing full expression. Imagine a camera is recording you. You can also use mind maps, diagrams, and flowcharts for this. Step 2. Become a teacher. Don't just read, explain the concept to a kid. If no one's around, explain it to an empty chair. If you can break down the idea in simple words, you'll remember it much longer. This little practice will shift your mindset from being a consumer to a creator. You'll always remember it's your job to make the work interesting. Use the summary, velocity, and learning effect. Don't aim for perfect at the start. Study full speed for 20 minutes. Take a 10-second pause. Then spend 10 minutes filling in the gaps. Second, prioritize learning over mistakes. If you spot a mistake while studying, fix it right away. Repeat the correct step 3 times. Third, use inversion thinking. Before you start studying, ask yourself, why might this study session fail? Then create rules to fix those mistakes. Use the 20% rule. Only 20% of the information is enough to understand concepts. When you start a topic, first go through the first 3 or 4. Focus on the concept. The 5th point is to use breaks strategically. Study for 50 minutes, then do something for 2 minutes that makes you yawn. This increases blood flow, oxygen, and BDNF in your brain, helping you understand things better. Learning isn't just about consuming information. Get into an active mood. Move your hands, use full expressions while studying, and explain the concept to an empty chair.